to Bronx High School of Science, and we are about 35 minutes away from Bronx Specialized High School. Yay! And before I begin, I would like to thank the Valo Bus Company, Valo again, for providing a complimentary bus from Forest Hills, Queens. And I hope this is a great opportunity to show them that we will show up and we will represent the neighborhood and make sure that they hopefully have more of these stops in the future. Thanks, guys. So yay to Valo for the free bus. Yay. And I just want to share with you that the tour is going to be wonderful. And now that we're coming a little bit towards the latter part of the tour, there will be fewer people. So this is great as well. And we're going to check out many different departments. If you'd like, of course, we have a few tour guides from Kweller set up so that they will walk us through the school, but you can also wander on your own. I do want to share, I've been in this tour multiple times before, so keep in mind that you should definitely take a look at the basement area. The first floor, the auditorium, is magnificent. On the top floor, they also have they have a Holocaust museum, which is really cool, and there's also a planetarium. Just know that the planetarium is really, really congested. So just kind of, you want to plan your time very well, or you can stay with our group, which is great also, and we're gonna hit everything. I do want to take this opportunity to share with you that this is the bus that your kids are going to take should they decide to go to Bronx Science. And just to give you a rough idea of transport, the bus picks you up and drops you off, and there are many different bus stops along the route, but you should know that Valo has been referred to by other students at Kweller as very reliable, dependable. Rain, sleet, snow, the bus keeps going. So keep that in mind as you decide if Bronx is worth the trip, because I feel it is. I'm there every month for the PTA meetings. It's amazing. I do want to add stuff that you're not really going to see on the internet, but you should know about the bus company. Whenever there's a PTA meeting, Valo will pick you up for free. Whenever there's a school theater, school event, whenever there's anything going on at Valo, Valo is always taking care of the parents and the kids. So make sure that you enjoy and engage in this opportunity to not understand. It's not just about your kids being picked up and dropped off, but as parents, they do a great job as a community of taking care of you, you know, when they have PTA, so on and so forth. The trip should take about 45 minutes from Forest Hills, door to door, and just know that the bus will not make you late to school, so keep that in mind as well. I do want to share some cool things that you should know about Bronx Science while we're here. So I want to go through a list of really cool things that you should know about Bronx while we have this golden opportunity. Bronx Science is one of the most well-known specialized high schools in New York City. What is Bronx Science most famous for? Does anyone know? Science. Yes, it's known for the number of Nobel Prize and laureates that it has from the school. And there are, how many kids listed as their first choice? How many kids take the specialized high school test? 30,000. First choice. Bronx has actually outpaced Stye as first choice. Close to 20,000 students are listing this school as the top choice school. So keep in mind, we're going to the big school today to see it. Bronx Science is ranked among the top 50
math research program. So at Bronx Science, we have three major research programs. We have a math research program, a social science research program, and a biology research program. So these are, and also a physical science research program. So these are all things that you can participate in. It's a 3-year commitment, and as you'll see inside and more throughout the building, there are you make these posters, you compete in competitions, and it's a great way to get real experience at Bronx Science, and it's a great thing for college, and it looks great, but it's a really fun aspect of Bronx Science that only Stuyvesant offers actually.
Okay, so we are coming from Queens, and we want to know if it's worth it.
All right.
Where are you going to college?
All right.
We want to know. We want to know the end. Are you seniors?
Yeah, we're both seniors.
We want to know. We want to know the good stuff.
Okay, so Dave, you want to start?
I start? Okay.
Yeah, all right.
Everyone pay attention.
Alright, so I actually live in Brooklyn, so it's actually a little bit further than Queens. So I
Is
think,
it worth the trip?
oh yeah, for sure, absolutely. So
100%.
I live an hour and a half away, which is, I'd say, like a pretty long commute. But if you live in Queens, every day should be pretty much fine because our school offers Valo, which is like our free school bus service. So that actually helps a lot with getting students to school on time.
We want to know, what is this? Where are we?
Sure. So you're standing in the math research class, math and computer science research classroom. Math research is a 3-year elective course, and it starts in your sophomore year. You qualify by doing well in your freshman math class. When you first get into the program, we teach basic skills like coding, but we also help match you with a supervising scientist or a mentor who's a professor that works at a local college or university in the area. What that means is that usually by the end of your sophomore year, you will start working on an independent research project with your mentor's lab, which creates a full research paper by the beginning of your senior year that some students publish, and we all submit to research competitions. The biggest thing about math research that makes it unique from other research programs is the flexibility. So while being in another research program can sometimes restrict you in terms of what kinds of projects you can do, because every kind of science project involves math, every kind of science project is something you can do in math research. It's for that reason that math research is the single most successful research program at Bronx Science, and Bronx Science's overall research program is the most successful research program in the country, bar none.
What are the math classes that you've taken here? And can you elaborate on the math research that you yourself have done?
Alright, so some of the math classes that I've taken, so my freshman year I took geometry, sophomore year I took honors algebra 2 trig, and my junior year I took honors pre-calc, and then my senior year I doubled up on math when I took AP Calculus, BC, and linear algebra and differential equations. So you're going to go into what you've taken?
Yeah, so I took honors pre-calculus in my freshman year, and I took Calc BC in my sophomore year. I then took linear algebra and differential equations in my junior year, and now I'm taking multivariable calculus and partial differential equations.
What did you take your freshman year?
Honors pre-calc.
I just want to understand for the families, did you do a placement test to get into those levels of mathematics?
Yeah, so after you get into Bronx Science, we have a placement test for both for math classes, science classes, and social studies, which takes place, it's actually taking place tomorrow, I think.
Yes, at Bronx.
Yes, and so that will allow you to move up to AP World History from Global History and Social Studies. It allows you to choose between biology and chemistry in your freshman year, and it can allow you to choose between geometry and honors geometry in your freshman year math class. We do make exceptions for a lot of students in terms of math classes. A lot of students come into Bronx Science having already taken some advanced math classes, and those decisions are usually made on a case-by-case basis, so I can't speak to an overall policy.
I just want to quickly understand, what in 8th grade, what math were you taking?
So I was taking Algebra 2 Trig in 8th grade.
In 8th grade?
Yes.
Do you mind sharing what middle school you attended?
So I moved here to New York from Wisconsin, so I went to middle school in Wisconsin.
And then what math were you in 8th grade?
In 8th grade, I was taking, I think I was taking Algebra 1. I went to Simon Brook Middle School. It's on 20th Street in Manhattan. Should we go into what kind of research we're doing?
Yes, please. So we want to know, what research base are you doing here?
Alright, so my project is kind of like a little bit of everything. I do a project that involves geophysics, computer science, and also mathematics. So my project basically is, I help my mentor at Columbia write an algorithm that basically allowed us to track, to basically determine earthquake risk in the Marmara Sea in Turkey. And how it does this is that it tracks changes in sequence stratigraphy based on like variances in subsidence, sediment supply, the fact sea level, and changes over time over millions of years. And so I'm compiling all that data inside an algorithm that allows me to calculate the risk, the high level, the level of risk in these particular areas, so that we can potentially save thousands of lives.
You said you're doing research at Columbia, correct? How was that coordinated? Was that through the school or independently?
All right, so what happened was that Dr. S is really good here about having a list of mentors, available mentors that we can work with. So what happened was that for me, I started the process a little bit late. So by the end of my junior year, I had to go and find a mentor. So basically what he did was that he gave me a list of available mentors who students have had success with in the past. And so I said, okay, these people line up with my skill set, my particular set of interests, and like how many hours I wanted to put in. And so I basically found a mentor that kind of fit all those three criteria. And so I said, okay, I'm gonna send him an email, attach my resume, what I've done, and like my skill set, and what I can help and what I can provide and contribute to this particular project. So I sent him that, and then he responded back to me about a variety of different project openings that he had for me, and I picked one of the few that I could help. I thought I could contribute to, and I also have an interest in doing. And then over that particular summer, I actually worked for him at Columbia. So I kind of worked as like a paid intern, where I kind of like helped him code because he needed help with some of the Python. So I kind of helped him code the algorithm itself. And then from there I progressed into writing my papers, and my research progressed from there.
Do you mind quickly sharing, did you do any university-based research while a high school student here?
Sure. So in terms of my specific experience, my mentor was a research scientist at Williams College in Massachusetts, but I worked at a subsidiary lab in New York. And so that was also arranged, much like David, through the school. Like Dr. Shapovalov, who runs the math research program, recommended that I apply to the program. I applied and I interviewed and I was accepted. And much like what has happened with other students in the program, I chose a project that I felt would best suit my particular skill set and that I could contribute to. My project specifically, I actually ended up contributing to several different projects, but my most significant one was trying to calculate the age of the oldest human fire use in Eastern Europe, which is an important archaeological advancement for human evolution. And so I also worked a lot during the summer as an intern, even though I was not paid. And so, yeah.
We have tutoring jobs. To what extent do you feel that your education here has prepared you for your future college?
I feel like my education here was something that I couldn't get really anywhere else, because it kind of helped me focus on what I really wanted to do with the rest of my life. Like I came into high school like not knowing what I wanted to do. Like I honestly like wanted to be an astronaut. Like I had no clue what I was planning on doing with the rest of my life. And then as I like took like focused classes year after year, and then I kind of like experienced like graduate level research based in computer science, I kind of was able to narrow down my interest. And I was like, hey, I might want to do computer science research. And then I applied to computer science schools, and that kind of like everything kind of like fell down from there.
Yeah, so I would say my experience has been very similar. I think the quality of education at Bronx Science is something that you can't get anywhere else, where we manage to combine a very collaborative atmosphere with top-notch academic excellence as well. So in terms of that, I think it's an incredibly great experience, not only in the classes that you're able to take, but also in terms of the people you're able to meet. It's an incredibly rare experience to be able to be surrounded by peers who are incredibly intelligent and motivated, and that's an experience I really think that you can't get anywhere else.
I just want to take a minute to say a huge thank you from everyone from Queens who took the bus, and we think you were amazing.
He's going to MIT and he's going to Harvard.
Wait, it gets better. Where are you going, guys? Hold on. Guys, we are honored to be in your presence, because we will be taking Kweller College tours and we'll be looking for you when we go this summer. We would like to know where we are.
Okay.
Tell us.
So this is the journalism department, and this is where we write all our school newspapers as well as yearbooks. It's student written, student led, student edited, and basically we get to explore a wide variety of topics. We've written about everything from U.S. airstrikes in Syria to Pitch Perfect 3. So basically we have a lot of creative freedom as to what we choose to write about, and we can explore a wide variety of topics. The only requirement is that we talk about the student perspective by including, of course, a quote from the student. And the great thing about our newspaper is, as you can see, it's very professional looking, and we've put a lot of work into it. And journalism is a class that we take every day, so we get a grade for it. It's an elective, and we meet people who are really passionate about writing, really passionate about English, even though we are in what some would say a STEM school. So one thing that you really should take away from this is that even though we are called the Bronx High School of Science, we explore a wide variety of interests, and you have people who take 3 math classes, but also people who take 3 social studies classes. So you get to explore what you want and really discover yourself during these 4 years.
One really important thing about journalism is also, in addition to your baseline English and history courses, one thing about journalism is that it's really individualized. So whereas in your typical English and history classes, you're getting, your standard essays and your books from your history teachers and your English teachers, here really, as Artaya said, you can really write whatever you want. You can be whoever you want in this class, and for me at least, as a junior, and it's a junior and senior requirement course, you can take whatever, you can write about whatever you want, and you can really explore your interests in that regard. So I came in as a freshman with some interest in science and some interest in humanities, but ended up really developing my interest in humanities because of, as an example, journalism is one of those ways. Thank you, guys.
Do you have any questions, anything?
If it's okay, just for the group, I just want to know, at what grade level can you start participation in the school newspaper?
So you take the test sophomore year. You have to have a certain grade in English, and then you write an essay. There's different prompts every year, and then based on your essay and your grade, you get admitted into journalism for junior year, and mostly people decide to continue it in their senior year as well. And we also have leadership positions within journalism, so we have newspaper editors, news editors, editorial editors, and copy chiefs, and all those different positions where people get to be leaders and kind of tell others, like, a deadline is coming up, we need to be on top of our work, and by doing that you get to kind of have that real world experience in which you're working and communicating with different people.
Hello families
And-
and visitors. The last presentation of the evening will be going on in the auditorium in the next minute or two. Our open house is winding down, so please go and visit.
So that was actually on Sunday. So Sunday was Alumni Day. I actually was here on Alumni Day, and this year is Bronx Science's 80th anniversary. So what we were doing this year was we were having 80 of our top alumni come back every year, like once a week or something. So they would come back, they would give speeches, they would talk about their experience at Bronx Science and what they did in their careers afterwards. And on Sunday we had a huge alumni day with all the different decades of Bronx Science, and they came back and they got to see what Bronx Science was really like. So in that newspaper is these famous alumni who came back. So one of our big alumni that many people know, Neil deGrasse Tyson, Michael Kamen, he's a Yankees announcer, and the Warner. Yeah, so like we have so many great people who come back, and that's one of the biggest things about Bronx Science is our alumni network. So if you do come to Bronx Science, you have the experience and opportunity to connect with so many different individuals at so many different places. Like literally wherever I go, and I tell someone I go to Bronx Science, they're always like, "Oh yeah, I went there too. Like, how was the school there?" Like, it's a connection that you build for your life. So it's one of the greatest things about Bronx Science is like the alumni network as well.
He's the journalism advisor, and do you mind sharing us what's your favorite part of Bronx High School of Science?
It's working with the students. The students are extraordinary. They're the creme de la creme of the city, and they're incredibly gifted, and it's really a joy to be with them every day. I've been here 17 years.
17 years.
I live in Brooklyn, and I commute an hour and a half each way to come here, and the reason I do that is because the students are extraordinary, and it really is an honor to be here working with them. The paper, if you take a copy and read it, you'll see it's written at like a college level. We had a local newspaper that actually came and covered these alumni, and what they wrote I did not think was as good as what my students wrote in this special Hall of Fame edition, in all seriousness. So it's really, it's an honor to work with them. I also teach English classes down the hall too, and we're reading things like Melville's Moby Dick and Thoreau's Walden. And these are college level texts, but at Bronx Science you can do that because the kids are really motivated. And
we want to take a minute to give you a round of applause and to say thank you so much for having us. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. We would also like to do a Q&A session now if anyone would like to raise their hands and ask a question. Let's get 5 of your best minutes, guys. Go for it, okay?
Feel free, don't be shy. Doesn't have to be about the drum department.
I want to know, what is your favorite part of Bronx High School of Science? That's my question. But this is known as a science school and a math school. What's with this drama? We want to hear.
Honestly, being a math and science school prevent us from having fun on stage. I feel like without this drama department, I would definitely be stressed out of my mind right now. Not only does the drama department help you make friends or help you, get rid of your stage fright or just like help you perform on stage, we also teach you a lot about time management because as you all know, drama is obviously a big time commitment, and honestly, the cast and crew are full of people that have been there and did it before, and we always help the newbies, whether they be incoming freshmen or incoming sophomores. We like to help them with time management, and I truly recommend joining freshman year if you're interested in this at all, because it can really help you, open up, and we have like a bunch of welcoming people. Question?
Yeah. Do you guys perform like full plays? Do you have more people?
Yeah, more people than this. So we have 2 productions a year. We have Fall Play, which is from September to December, and Spring Musical, which is from March to May. So Fall Play, it's a bit of a smaller cast, about 12 people. It's all acting and just like no music. And then we have Musical, which is a snippet of what we just did. That was the Dress Chaperone this year. So yeah, that's about a 45 people count.
I'm Mr. Brown. I'm the drama moderator, and I just want to let you know that students can balance the academics with the artistic. Last year, one of our students who starred in many of the productions was accepted into Harvard and Yale. He's now completing his first year at Harvard. Last year, our stage manager is at the University of Chicago. The previous year, our stage manager, she was also our valedictorian at the highest average in the school, also at the University of Chicago. So students can balance the academics with the artistic, and that's what we try to do with the drama group. I try to teach all the scientists and math people how to write what they're really thinking.
Any other questions? Thank you so much. I want to say thank you so much for having us, and we are thrilled that you took this time, and we love the performance. Let's give you a huge round of applause. So, how was your commute?
We both are on the same battle bus, actually. Yeah.
And really fast, just logistics. What time in the morning do you get on the bus?
6:52.
In the morning.
6:45.
Where does it pick you up?
A block away from my house.
Great.
3 blocks from my house.
And what time do you leave here?
3 p.m. at the earliest, or we also have a 5:15 bus and a 6:05 bus if you have extracurriculars.
And the last question, is it worth the trip?
Yeah. Yes.
That's great. Thank you.
What time do you get up in the morning?
5:50.
6:05.
I don't get out of bed until like 6:30.
What time do you go to bed?
Depends on the day.
Yeah.
Well, folks, we just want to say welcome to Classroom 203. My name is Timothy Huth. I'm the Director of Forensics here at Bronx Science, which means that I run our speech and debate program, so it's so nice to see you here. We have a special presentation for you here tonight with some students from our speech and debate team that can tell you what it's like to be a member of our team, but perhaps more importantly, to talk to you a little bit about what it's like to be a Bronx Science student. So without further ado, I want to say again, welcome, and I will turn it over to our current president of the speech and debate team, Michael Miller.
Hey guys, once again, welcome to 203. This is our debate room that you're sitting in right now. So in 1969 was a pretty important year in America. It was the year Neil Armstrong took his first steps on the moon. It was the year Gap opened, actually. And it was the year that the Bronx Science Speech and Debate team opened its doors to its students. And while in 1969 we had around 30 members of the Bronx Science Speech and Debate team, in 2018, this year, we have 329 total team members. And that's more than 10% of the entire student body is participating in speech and debate right now. And that's for a few different reasons, which we'll talk about later. But some important things that we should talk about before we go any further in today's presentation is first, the Bronx Science Speech Debate team has no cuts and no tryouts. You could have participated in parliamentary debate, like Lincoln Douglas middle school debate, any type of middle school debate, or you could have absolutely no prior experience at all, which is me. I had no prior experience, never wanted to speak in public. No matter who you are, you can join the Bronx Science Speech and Debate team. We are an extracurricular activity. We meet once a week. after school from around like 3:45 to 5:15. If you want to participate in tournaments, those occur on the weekends. We have a ton of tournaments throughout the year. You decide which tournaments you want to attend, whichever ones fit with your schedule, you can attend those. Yeah, and past using the skills that we learn in these different types of debate at our tournaments to get all these trophies, we have the skills that you learn in speech and debate transcend these tournaments, transcend the practices that you have at debate. They're important in terms of researching, in terms of writing essays, in terms of thinking critically. They're essential in terms of actually succeeding at Bronx Science and in whatever career you decide to pursue. And that's why we see so many famous high school speakers and debaters go on to amazing careers because of the skills that they learned on the on speech and debate teams. Not all of them went to Bronx Science, I promise you that. But while you may not be the next Nelson Mandela or Oprah Winfrey, we do guarantee you that if you come to Bronx Science and you participate on the Bronx Science speech and debate team, you have the skills necessary for whatever career you decide to pursue. So with that, I'm going to pass it off to Annika, who will be one of the vice presidents of the team next year.
So one of my favorite parts of this activity is all the traveling I get to do. We offer 47 tournaments a year with up to 3 on a given weekend. So you really do have the flexibility on how often you want to compete. Our tournaments could range anywhere from Princeton, New Jersey, all the way to the University of Kentucky. And my favorite time of year is in the middle of January when everyone is stuck in the freezing snow. Our team gets to go down to Florida to enjoy the nice sunny weather. Now we're going to have a few people talk about the different categories of debate and speech that we offer, starting with policy debate with Emily.
Hi, my name's Emily, and I'm the upcoming novice director on policy debate here at Bronx Science. And what policy debate is a team debate. Basically, it's 2 people versus 2 people. And what makes policy debate so unique from the other forms of debate and activities that we have here on speech and debate is that policy debate has only one resolution for the entire year. This means that we get to discuss and now analyze and learn a lot in depth about the specific topic. For instance, the topic for this year was the United States federal government should substantially increase funding and or regulation for primary and or secondary education in the United States. And with that, I'll turn it back to Annika to talk about Lincoln Douglas debate.
So LD is a one-on-one form of debate that centers on current events and also a philosophical perspective. So some of the topics that we've debated include civil disobedience or private handgun ownership. Now Andrew is going to talk about public forum debate.
Hi, I'm Andrew. I'm the upcoming public forum captain. Public forum is a really unique event where you debate with partners and you talk about current events. It's a really unique activity because from month to month the topics change from international policy to hot-button domestic issues, which is really good because you have the large breadth of knowledge if you do public forum. On the specific topics, Elias is going to elaborate.
Hello everyone, my name is Elias. I'm the upcoming novice director for Public Forum Debate. So, Public Forum Debate is designed to develop your awareness of both issues in the national as well as international spheres. So just over the last year, we debated really critical issues like gun control in the United States, the Electoral College, as well as the diplomacy that's currently happening between the 2 Koreas. Public Forum Debate is designed in order to be more accessible. It's less technical than the other forms of debate, and you're going to be able to develop the skills that you need to convince anyone you meet. Whether it's just someone you ran into on the street who doesn't know too much about that topic, or whether it's someone who's been researching that field for a really long time, you're going to get overall useful skills in both public speaking, debate, research, and argumentation. And you get to go through that whole process with a partner and develop a great relationship with them. And with that, I would like to pass it on to Arjun.
Hi everybody, my name is Arjun. I'm going to be next year's novice director for congressional debate. What makes our event really special is that it's kind of the intersection between both speech and debate, because on one hand you get the actual argumentation and logical reasoning that you might get from PF or policy, but you also get to put on an act and be a senator and get to dress up in a fancy suit and stand on a floor and give a speech like you're in our Congress. So that's why it's really key, because you get both public speaking, researching, and critical analysis skills all in one special form. So the actual setup of congressional debate is a bit different from the other ones. Instead of like a one-on-one debate or a two-on-two, it takes place in a room much like this with 20 individual competitors. Each of them is a representative. And for each chamber, maybe 1 or 2 bills are debated, and these bills range from topics such as the Electoral College, like PF, or giving aid to the Rohingya Muslims in Myanmar. And the special thing about Congress is that the students can actually author their bills. So they get to write what they want to debate about, which doesn't happen in many of the other squads. Additionally, Congress is open to all different types of personal expression, so you can add your own humorous, funny twists or your dark emotional twist all in one form, and you have complete autonomy over the way you present yourself to an audience. If you want to enhance your public speaking skills or want to get better at researching, our event has a place for all of you. And now we're going to learn more about speech from our wonderful speech captain, Maya.
Yeah, so the speech team is very different from a lot of the debate squads, though it does combine a lot of really important skills like persuasive argument and researching, and as well as general public speaking. Speech is really, really good for building your confidence, learning to perform, and also having a lot of fun. So, speech is split into two different parts. The first one is public address, which is your standard public speaking events, ranging from social issues to current events. And there's also interpretation, which is basically competitive acting, ranging from humorous to dramatic to anywhere in between. So speech is a really great place to essentially perfect how you can present yourself to the world and build a really strong sense of who you are. So, with that, I'd like to pass it back to Mike.
Hey guys, so I know we just threw a lot of information at you, but don't worry, there isn't a test on any of it. More important than any of the information that we told you about the different types of debate, different types of speech, or any of the cool tournaments we attend, is that when you join the Bronx Science Speech and Debate team, you join a family. You join the single largest support system we have at Bronx Science with 329 team members. Whether you're a well-seasoned debater with your parents at home, or whether it strikes fear in you to speak in front of a crowded room today, the Bronx Science Speech and Debate team is the place for you. So I'm going to hand it back to Maya.
Yeah, I'd like to leave you all with one final reason, or rather reasons, to join the speech and debate team, and that is, if you haven't noticed yet, there are a lot of trophies in here. So if you'd like to take a second to just admire them, by all means. If you join the Bronx Science Speech and Debate team, there is a really strong chance that you will get to be the proud owner of one or more trophies like this. So I'd like to leave you all with one last statement. It's a saying that we have around Bronx Science. If it wiggles, it's biology. If it reacts, it's chemistry. And if it wins, it's the Bronx Science Speech and Debate team. Thank you, I promise. And with that, I would like to pass it back to Ms. Ruth.
Yes, folks. So if you have any questions, we'll open the floor for a few questions. If you want to know what it's like to be a speaker or debater on our team, or just what it's like to be a Bronx Science student generally, these students give you the true insight of what it's really like. So are there any questions from any students or parents here? Anything you'd like to know?
We just want to say thank you. You are amazing, and we're heading on a bus back to Queens in 10 minutes. So we want to say that this was definitely worth the trip. Thank you.